everyone, and welcome to the first ever video for Learn Persian with Try and Conversation. My name is Layla.
And I'm Matt.
And today we are doing this special video because it is almost the Persian New Year, or Nowruz. So as we do in Try and Conversation, I'm going to say the Persian words and Matt's going to repeat them. So the word for the New Year is Nowruz.
Nowruz.
And that is the new day. So one of the most important rituals that we do during this time is getting together with family and friends and having tea. So here's our tea. Thank you, Ramesh.
Thank you, Ramesh.
And some pastries. And I guess we should start by learning how to say Happy New Year, and that is Eid Shoma Mubarak.
Eid Shoma Mubarak.
Great, exactly, and that just means Happy New Year. And now we are going to move to the Persian New Year table, which, like the Christmas tree, is the centerpiece for all the celebrations. And we're going to learn what is on the table. So here we are at the traditional New Year's table, and it's called Sofreye Haft Sin.
Sofreye Haft Sin.
Exactly, and sofre means table, and haft sin means 7 things that begin with the letter sin, which is the equivalent of the English S. And basically we have 7 things on here that begin with that letter, and they all symbolize something different that has to do with the new year. The first one we're going to start with is the sabze.
Sabze.
And as Matt pointed out before, we've heard that word before in Gorman, sabzi, or the color sabz, which is green, and it just means a green, and this happens to be wheatgrass. It's usually from different sprouts, and it represents life, rebirth, vitality for the new year. The second scene is sir,
Sir.
which is garlic, and this represents health and medicine. The third is sib,
Sib.
which is apple, and this also represents health and fruition and life and happiness. The fourth one is hyacinth.
Hyacinth.
Sorry, is sombol. Sombol,
Sombol.
which is hyacinth in English, and that also represents flowering and rebirth. The fifth is this thing called senjed,
Senje.
which we don't really have in the American culture. It's the fruit, it's a dried fruit of the oleaster tree, and it represents love. The fifth is serke,
Serke.
and that is vinegar, and that represents age and vitality. And then we have somar,
Somar.
and that is it's a spice that we use, and it represents the color of sunrise. There's a 7th one that I don't have on this table, and it is samanu.
Samanu.
And it's this labor-intensive paste that's very sweet, and it represents affluence and good fortune for the new year. And there's a lot of other things on this table that are not included in those 7 scenes, but they're also big parts of the new year. For example, different pastries, sweets, and that represents, having a good, sweet new year, and that's shirini.
Shirini.
And we also have candles to represent, rebirth and eternity, and these are called sham.
Sham.
Exactly. And we also, another important part of the table is colored eggs. We didn't quite get to paint them this time, but these are tokhme mor.
Tokhme mor.
Tokhme mor.
Tokhme mor.
And it represents vitality and rebirth and fertility. There we go. We also have sekke,
Sekke.
which really should be gold. These unfortunately are just quarters, but that's to represent wealth as well. Another very important part is a book. A lot of times people put the Quran, but a lot of people also put books of poems of their favorite poets, and I happen to put Hafiz, and he's one of the most famous poets, Persian poets. And I also put Sohrab al-Sitehri, who's another one of my favorites. He's a transcendental poet, pretty modern. And another really important part is Oine,
Ayne.
and that represents eternity and the other realm and the eternal. And I think, unless you see anything else that I haven't covered, Matt, that covers everything.
No, I think that covers everything.
And it's 1391, and we're gonna head back to the living room for a few more keywords. And that brings us back to my favorite part of the Nowruz tradition, and it is called Deed o Baz Deed.
Deed o Baz Deed.
And that means to see and see again. And the 13 days following Nowruz, you have time to go see all of your friends, and they in turn have to come and see you. And you have tea together and pastries and a general great time. There's plenty more about Nowruz that we'll put on our website at chaiandconversation.com.
With chai spelled C-H-A-I.
But for now, Eid Shoma Mubarak.
Eid Shema Mubarak.
Yeah, it's still recording. Okay, cool.
Eid Shemal Mubarak.
I think that was great. I think this will be a hit video.
All soon,